Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Legendary Leaders. I am your host, Katrina Jameson. I'm the founder of Legend Leaders, where we arm female business leaders with the strategies they need to master the one rule of career success and start living life on their terms, a legend life. All right, we've been moving through this entire month of execing correctly. As corporate executive women, we have got to learn how to exec correctly. We've worked too hard. We've spent 10 years getting into the role. We need to know how to do this thing right so that we can maintain the career success, so we can get the balance in life that we're looking for, so that we don't do all of this work for nothing, right? All of those reasons and more are reasons why we must exec correctly. Beyond the fact that we can, beyond the fact that it's our calling and it's our purpose to go and serve and provide our talents at this level, I would agree. And I would argue to you that's probably part of the reason as well. Now, we've spent the majority of this month thus far talking about why execing correctly is a must, right? Why we've got to master it, the potential for burnout, and why burnout could cause us to not step into execing correctly and doing things correctly as an executive and reaching that high level of performance. Today, I want to tackle one more reason. One more reason why we don't exec correctly. And that is all around hesitation. We hesitate. If you think about everything that we've talked about thus far, hesitation plays a role in every bit of everything that we've discussed. If we haven't exec correctly, it's because we hesitated in preparing. Now, was that an intentional hesitation? No, probably not. It was probably a lack of awareness and a lack of education as to exactly what we were getting into when we were striving for, when we were seeking to step into this executive role. It was a human moment, okay? It wasn't intentional hesitation. It was simply a lack of understanding and awareness. Fine, no worries. Now, if we're hesitating to master executive performance, now that's intentional. Now, we may not think that it's intentional, and you're probably sitting here thinking, come on, Katrina, I'm not intentionally holding back on learning how to exec. I want to learn, but I just can't, or there's too much, or I'm too tired, or there's too many other things going on. All of those things that you just said around there's just too much, it's a hesitation. It's just you rationally justifying, you're trying to justify in a rational way why you're hesitating. It's really what that is. Okay? And part of our hesitation comes from the fact, and I'm going to argue this with you, and you can come back and tell me if you think I'm wrong or give me another reason for it. I'd love the dialogue. But I'm going to argue with you that the fact of the matter is that you're hesitating because you're frustrated and you're angry with yourself. You're saying things to yourself like, I should have known better. Why didn't I know this? Why didn't I prepare myself for this? Why didn't someone else tell me? Why did I step into this position in the first place? I should have just stayed where I was. And so we're arguing with reality. It's really what we're doing. The reality is that you are either about to step into or you have already stepped into an executive role. The reality is that you must exec correctly in order to be successful. Okay? It's a must. It's a requirement. If you want to achieve and succeed and have a secure position in the company, then you must have a high level of executive performance. You must exec correctly. It's a must. They go together. Now, if you win the lottery and you're going to run off and, never work a day in your life, you don't have to exec correctly at that point. That's not a must. But if you want to continue to achieve and succeed in your role, and if you want to feel secure in your position because you know that you're achieving and succeeding correctly, then execing correctly is a requirement for you. You can't argue with reality. You can't hesitate anymore. You can't hope that it's going to go away. You can't hope that you're going to eventually figure it out. Hope is not a strategy. You must be intentional. You must stop hesitating. You must stop arguing. You must step into it. You did want this role. You are meant to step into it. You wouldn't have it if you weren't. Okay? Therefore, step into and embrace the learning that's required. Rip off the Band-Aid, step into it, and go master it. You can. Don't argue with reality. Don't argue with why you're not ready. Don't argue with why you have to. Don't argue with yourself in the fact that you thought this position was going to be different. You thought it was going to be better. If you're thinking that this position was going to bring you happiness, fulfillment, all of these things, no position is ever going to bring that to you. That's not a reason that you're going to hold back from learning how to master the position. So here's the thing, nutshell, summary. If you know that you need to master leadership skills, executive leadership skills, you know you must, then do it. Don't argue with reality. Don't justify why you're hesitating. Don't allow your anger and frustration with yourself to delay the inevitable and the progress that you must make. Stop. Stop doing all of those things and start stepping into learning. Go be the executive that you're supposed to be, that you're meant to be. Figure out, what don't I know? What do I need to do? And go do it. If you want help, we're here. That's what Legend Leaders does. Okay? You can. If you want to do it on your own, you can. But either way, whether you work with us or you do it on your own, the point is do it. So I'm going to challenge you to grab the workbook. If you haven't grabbed it yet, grab the workbook, go through the questions, seek to understand if you are frozen in a moment of hesitation, if that is where you are right now, relative to moving forward and being successful in your executive career. Answer the questions, face reality, and let's move past it, because next week, I'm going to teach you a simple process that you're going to go through to really understand how to exec. I'm going to give you a little strategy. It's what you've been waiting for. So go do the work, get the workbook. It makes life easier. Get the workbook. The work is in there. I'll see you next week. As always, go and be legendary.